Hello friends, TECHMANPAT here. Today I've got something small for you. This is the SwitchBot K10 Plus Mini Robot Vacuum Cleaner. It's cute. It's very, very small. I mean, this almost looks like a children's toy, but it is a home vacuum robot. And today I'm going to tell you if it is any good and if you should buy it and why you should buy it and who it is for, because at first I thought this is a great idea. Then when I got it, I was a bit like, but now I'm thinking, okay, I think it's time to like and subscribe. Let's get rolling with the intro and get started on the review of the SwitchBot K10 Plus. Awkward intros aside, this is a mini robot vacuum. And from the get-go, it looks kind of sleek actually. You've got a 4-liter bin right here that automatically empties the robot, and it lasts about 70 days. The robot itself has LiDAR, so it's got very smart navigation, but I'll tell you what, it's not the best navigation, but it's better than most robots I've seen. Now, further to that, it has a mopping capability, but the mopping capability is sticking a wet wipe to the bottom of the robot, which you have to use this thing right here to put the wet wipe on. And then it just rides around wiping your floor with a wet wipe. So I'm not gonna call this a mop and vacuum. It is a vacuum first with a mop thingy. Now, what are the benefits of a smaller vacuum like this before we get into some negatives? Well, it's the compactness of it. This sits under my table. The robot itself fits under my table legs, and it fits really close to my chair legs. It fits under the couches, and it fits in areas that a normal sized robot just cannot. It still has its little brush on the side, which means it's going to get right to the edges, and it's programmed to go over where it vacuumed a little bit more often because of the size of the vacuum roller right here. So it's smaller. It's not as quick. It technically has to do more because it vacuums a smaller area at a time. In saying that, because of its size, technically its coverage is increased because it can just go to more areas, especially around table legs where dirt and dust do generally gather because it's something that stops as you walk past. Things will blow into those areas and it will hold it. You'll also notice that the vacuum area is on the back just behind the wheels, where moreover, comparably, it's been between the wheels. That's actually okay because what I've noticed is as it rides, the pressure on the back pushes it down and it does give a better vacuum. So what about the suction? Well, at around 2,800 pascals, it is not the most powerful robot vacuum, but it still does a really good job because of the small area that it needs to work in. If you have an extremely powerful robot vacuum, but the area is massive, it doesn't compute. It just doesn't work very well. But when you've got a compact one with a compact suction area, it actually works really, really well. So you might ask yourself, it's a small robot, it's got great navigation. What's the downside? Well, it is actually the size again. It's not great at climbing carpets, especially if you have a fluffy rug that's in your living room. It won't climb it very well. It'll struggle because of the size. It just doesn't have the ability to sort of edge itself on, and it'll just push the carpet. It's just too small. But if you don't have very fluffy or sort of thick pile carpets that it needs to climb onto, it's absolutely fine in its navigation. From my testing, I have a lot of kids' tables, kids' chairs, an adult table, adult chairs, and this robot was able to navigate around the edges very close to them without missing those gaps that most robots might not even fit between the actual chairs. And that is a bonus because it's picking up things that other robots just wouldn't. And because it can empty itself, it is sort of set and forget. I did notice though, it did get stuck in areas where it thought it could fit through, but couldn't, especially gaps between furniture, and I had to basically push it away from that wall. Now, I've seen a lot of updates come through from SwitchBot, so this can get fixed in the future, but it's something to note at this time. Now, what about the actual cleaning performance? Well, here's the thing. This robot is small, the battery is small, the suction isn't particularly powerful. Yes, it does more coverage, but it's not meant for big homes. I've been using it in my sunken living room, and it's got a big rug and a wooden floor to attend to. Now, these wooden floors get a lot of dog fur and a lot of dirt and dust and debris from my kids who play in this area. And that makes it actually a very tough area to clean. Surprisingly though, this did really well. Not the best in regards to all the little particles, but because I ran it every day, it did well enough. The problem I ran into is having to push it up onto my little carpet or the little soft plushy carpet that the kids play on. Basically, if I was in the kitchen, I will turn this on because it's not loud enough to bother me, and it would go around vacuuming. And that worked out very well. I'll give it a little kick every so often when it gets stuck, but overall it saved me time. So here's my final thoughts. Because of its size, because of the limited battery, but very high strength, this is perfect for small homes or rumpus rooms or a second level where it's 1 or 2 rooms that it needs to go around with and it's carpet only. Don't use this as a mopping device. Sticking wet wipes on it is not the best way to utilize this. And if you want a mopping robot, then this is not the one for you. But if you have a second level or a very small apartment, maybe a studio, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, and you don't want it taking up a lot of space and you just want it to vacuum and you don't have thick piled carpets and rugs that it needs to climb on, then this is a fantastic solution for a small space that you'll be very happy to have and probably impressed with the actual cleaning performance. Now here's the final gotcha, and that's the price. At around 700 Australian dollars, this isn't a particularly cheap robot compared to others, especially full-sized ones that provide mopping capabilities. What I will say is that the person buying this has a small home in the first place. They won't be able to really or want to fit a large robot with a big base, but want the efficiency of a robot vacuum for their life. But don't expect the best cleaning performance. Expect good enough if you run it every day after a decent clean that you will do yourself with a handheld vacuum. This will be efficient enough and quiet enough for you to not worry about it during the day, even if you're home. Friends, thank you very much for watching. All the links below where you could get it. I don't know if it's available in Australia just yet, but it's certainly coming here. And of course, big thanks to SwitchBot for sending this robot for review. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all in another one. Bye.